If you are a horror fanatic like me, then I'm sure you watched the film The Conjuring. The Conjuring was released in 2016 and was directed by James Wan. If that name sounds familiar, it's because he has directed many other films like Saw, Insidious, and Dead Silence. He was also a writer for The Nun, which is a spin-off to The Conjuring 2 in 2016. But my question is, was this based on a true story? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you as much as I can about the history of Valak, aka The Nun. Upon my research, I found out that Valak is a real demon, but unlike the first installment of The Conjuring, Valak had no documented involvement with the Enfield poltergeist. So who or what exactly is this demon? Valak is a real-life demon who takes the form of a nun in The Conjuring 2 and The Nun. Valak is in various grimoires. A grimoire is a textbook of magic which includes instructions on how to create magical objects like talismans and amulets, and how to perform magical spells or how to summon or invoke supernatural entities such as angels, spirits, and demons. Valak has never appeared as a nun. This is just a horrifying creation by the filmmakers. Instead, Valak is described as a child with angel wings that rides on a two-headed dragon. One of the most notable mentions of Valak is in the mid-17th century Goetic grimoire, The Lesser Key of Solomon, which is an anonymous spellbook on demonology. The book's name comes from the fact that the demons focused on are ones that, according to the legend, were summoned by the biblical figure King Solomon. Solomon, also called Jedediah, was, according to the Hebrew Bible, Quran, Hadith, and Hidden Words, a very wealthy and wise king of Israel who succeeded his father, King David. The Lesser Key of Solomon describes the demon Valak as the Grand President of Hell, who commands legions of demonic minions. In an interview for The Conjuring 2, director James Wan explained that the nun character in the movie was actually inspired by an entity that demonologist called Lorraine Warren had claimed haunted her home. The character was portrayed by actress Vera Farmiga in the Conjuring movies. Lorraine described the entity as a swirling tornado vortex with the hooded figure in there. Furthermore, James Wan had this to say: "I remember hearing that, and my first thought was, oh crap, that's going to be CGI character. I didn't want to do that," said Wan. And so, it kind of took me a while to cement in my head what this vision was. And it came across eventually in a very organic way, because it is a demonic vision that haunts her, that only attacks her. I wanted something that would attack her faith. Something that would threaten the safety of her husband. And so that was eventually how the idea of this very iconographic image of a holy icon cemented in my head. Because it took a while for James Wan to envision this demon, it wasn't until reshoots that The Nun was actually added to The Conjuring 2. No matter how interesting the history of Valak might be, I still prefer the nun version of this demon. Wouldn't want to see that behind me on the dark street. I actually saw the film in the cinema. I thought it was really cool. Out of 10, I'd rate this a solid 8. I think it's because I got so hyped up for this film, I had my expectations a little bit too high, but by all means, I was not disappointed. I loved everything about it. I loved the movie, I loved the characters, I loved the plot. But if I had to compare it to The Conjuring 1, I'd rate The Nun a 7.5 out of 10, mainly because it wasn't as scary as The Conjuring 1, in my opinion. The film is great. I totally recommend watching it if you haven't yet. Also, sorry for the late upload. College has started for me and I needed some time to get back on track. Go ahead and follow me on other platforms so we could connect in between those days when I don't upload. Leave a comment if you still haven't watched The Nun, and if you have, which film you thought was scariest, The Nun or The Conjuring 1?